resting in the space where the sacred meets the profane, nesting in the place between the beauty and the blame. I went looking for a savior, but I could not find a name till I caught a glimpse of you. I caught a glimpse of you, sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender. Practiced like a ninja, studied like a priest. I've been scrambling for scraps when I'd been prepared to feast, and I may have missed the message of your love, to say the least, until I caught a glimpse of you. I caught a glimpse of you, sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender. I can't be a peaceful warrior, won't give up the fight, and it would surely do me good to lay it down tonight, when the journey has been so long, and every step I made seems wrong, but you're coming round again, like some long lost friend. Sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender. Thank you, Lord. Sweet, sweet surrender. Such a sweet, sweet surrender. Blessed Jesus, sweet, sweet, sweet surrender. Sweet surrender.
Good morning. Life is good. Yes, and I know for those of you that are World Series baseball fans, we're very happy. Life is good. And for those of you that like to dress up and change yourself, Hollywood's here. Life is good. Life is good. So let me welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living San Jose, where our intention is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal life. And we're all that we ask, is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. Welcome home. And I'd like to give an especially warm welcome to anybody who's here for the first time. There's all kinds of ways you can find out who we are, or what we believe here, or what that symbol means. You can visit our website at csl.org, or if you're here in the room, you can go to the concierge desk over in Fellowship Hall after the service, where there's somebody there that can answer your questions. Or if you're live streaming right now, our moderator is Max Overland, and you can chat with him, ask him questions. Or if you leave by the foyer that way, we also have a welcome packet you can pick so right now, one of our key spiritual practices is being community together, because in that moment, we need to have spiritual spirit. So please take a moment and say hello to somebody next to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Ruby Calloway. I'm delighted to be your professional prayer practitioner of the day. As we settle into the sweetness of this moment, let us join together in speaking of intentions. After we've spoken of intentions, we have 2 minutes of silence, and I'll follow that by giving an opening prayer. Please repeat after me. I hold in my heart the children and volunteers in our youth program.
I hold in my heart children and volunteers in our program.
And members of our community who are not here today.
Members of our community who are not here today.
I hold in my heart our loved ones.
I hold in my heart our loved ones.
Those who have gone before us.
Those who have gone before us.
And those who have yet to arrive.
Those who have yet to arrive.
I hold in my heart all who need healing. I hold in my heart a world free of hopelessness.
I hold in my heart a world free of hopelessness.
A world free of violence.
A world free of violence.
A world free of hunger.
A world free of hunger.
A world free of separation.
A world free of separation.
I hold in my heart all beings.
I hold in my heart all beings.
And the vitality of the planet we share. And a world that works for everyone. I feel the global heart beating in me.
I feel the global heart beating in me.
As me. Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
There is one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. There is one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, that life is my life now. So it is, so it is, so I am, so I am, so we are, so we are. my life now. There is one life, and life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is God's life now. And so it is. And so I am.
So I am.
So we are.
So we are.
We let it be.
We let it be.
In this perfect moment, the presence of the divine is right here. The one power with no name, and the one power with many names. It is the constant source of energy that is available all the time for every one of us here. I delight in knowing that we are one in spirit. We are one in this power. Each one of us has everything we need, everything, to move forward in every moment, every day, no matter what's unfolding in our life. We absolutely have this power to transform hurt with forgiveness, doubt with absolute faith, with absolute generosity, and fear with hope and knowing that all is well. And life is good. Life is so good. I claim this wonderful, good life for me, and I claim this wonderful, good life for each and everyone in this community. That life is good. Let's live fully, generously, and freely. I am so grateful for this spirit in me, this power in me, that is in my life and that's in this community. I release my word and I let it be. And so it is.
So it is, amen.
Please read with me the affirmation for today. The freedom of God is my freedom, and I now cease dwelling on limitation and give my earnest attention to the particular abundance I desire. The abundance of God fills my good desire right now.
Gray skies hanging over me, clouding my serenity. Winds of change all over everything around. But I know just what to do to achieve a different view. Following my heart, it never lets me down. Taking the surest road can lead to nowhere. Singing the same old song can leave you flat, but this led to that. I'm where I'm at, 'cause the spirit deep within is getting comfortable in my skin. It's getting comfortable in my skin. Looking back at where I've been, only to begin again. Life has come full circle in this blessed dance. And I know the future brings only just the best of things. Spirit at the helm, I leave nothing to chance. And I won't face my past with indecision. And I won't worry what I might have missed, 'cause that led to this. And this state of bliss is the spirit deep within. Getting comfortable in my skin. Getting comfortable in my skin. Feel it move, feel it breathe me. Open your eyes, let the spirit see me. I myself was lost, but now I know. Taking the surest road can lead to nowhere. Singing the same old song can leave you flat, but it led to that. I am where I'm at, 'cause the spirit deep within is comfortable in my skin. Getting comfortable in my skin. So take a look, come look again. You'll see the spirit is comfortable in my skin.
Good morning. My name's Ken Rowell, and I'm your Insight speaker for today. And we're going to have some fun. Hey, just a shameless plug for the Better Business Breakfast. That's the second Tuesday, 7 o'clock every month. We have a lot of fun. Jackie Hector and I just have a great time putting it together, and it's a gourmet breakfast. I mean, we're not talking about cereal here. We're talking about Sesay's gourmet breakfast. A lot of people, you don't have to be in business to have fun with it, so please come and join us. Speaking of business, I thought I'd talk about something in that community and experience I've had. It goes like this. In 1999, 3 friends get together. We pool a few bucks, and we start buying and selling duplexes in Sacramento, California. We make a lot of money, hit the market right. And we 1031 exchange into raw land in Nevada, Reno, Nevada. 2002, 2004, we start building townhomes. In 2006, we are selling 14 townhomes a month. We have a bank that adores us. We have a $40 million+ line of credit, and we're printing money. Life is good. In October of 2007, we have 40 pages of people that want to buy our homes. November of 2007, we have 10 pages. In December, we have one page. In the beginning of 2008, nobody wants our homes, and we have a whole lot of inventory. So all that money we made and that we were printing all goes back into what we were doing, and we are struggling. People around us are starting to go bankrupt, and I have no desire to go bankrupt if I can help it. And life is very difficult. Our bank, who adores us, becomes the 5th largest bank in U.S. history to go broke. See, if you've ever been through one of those, the way that works is you're working with them on a Friday afternoon, they close the doors, the FDIC comes in over the weekend, shuts them down, and voila, you have a whole new bank you get to work with the next day. And they don't care where you've been, how you got there. They're all about shutting down anything that's shady, and unfortunately for me, I was born shady. Me and everybody else in the state of Nevada. So they've got a problem with our deal, so they ask for our help, and we're more than happy to help them. And we cut a deal to walk away free. We spend a year and a half getting that deal, all the different things straightened out. And at the end of the year and a half, they sue us anyhow. Under pressure from the FDIC, we countersue, and life is just fun. Unfortunately, my partner, Buzz, passes away due to cancer and stress, and it's the first time I've graced the halls of a CSL church because his memorial service was at CSL Monterey. My partner and I start to turn on each other. Bankruptcy attorneys are a thing of a weekly, it's a weekly thing we're going through. Very difficult time. I'm worried about losing my home, my businesses in California, and the hundreds of people that will affect. God has a funny sense of humor, though. He puts a spiritual teacher in my path named Elizabeth, who and starts talking about things I've never even thought of before, like oneness, vibration, and light, and chakras, and power, and just incredible love, and looking for what's right, making choices, and welcoming. And I'm I'm on death's door financially, and I'm ready to listen to anything. You know, when you're looking at the bottom of a glass of alcohol, or you're looking at the point of a needle, or you're in the valley of financial disaster, you call God. God's right there in the bottom of all that. All you have to do is stand at the door and knock, right? And it's right there. And I did that. And all of a sudden my life really just started turning around. It was just magical. And I learned that my old way of doing wasn't working well. So with a new belief and a new faith system, I came to a new way of knowing that integrated into a new way of being that allowed me a new way of spirit-led doing. My partner and I, we start making up as business partners, and we decide to go and attack the bank, right? So it's kind of like two guys and a dog attacking Goliath, really. And we decide to attack the bank, and we set a court date, and we make them an offer to settle, right? In the meantime, I'm going to live life as if this is already done, a thing of the past. All right? I am gaining momentum in my spiritual walk, and I'm feeling just on fire, just loving my life. In August of 2013, last year, I'm taking a class here. It's called this thing called You. The great Reverend Valerie's teaching that class, and that first day, she has an assignment for us, for those of you that remember, and it's to write 3 prayerful intentions. Heck, if you can write 3, I wrote 10. They all said the same thing. Let the bank agree to our deal. Let the bank agree to our deal. Let the bank agree to our deal. Oneness, gratitude, lotta, right? The next day, I get a call from my attorney that said, the bank agreed to our deal. The very next day. In January of this year, Superior Court of Nevada washed everything to do down the drain with the suit and the countersuit. I was a free man, and I tell you, I am grateful to have lived through that, to have gained this wonderful knowledge, to be part of this church, to be walking in the sunshine of light, and just to be internally grateful to be able to see God, Source, the unseen guest, Creator in all things, to raise vibration and knock out pollution inside and out. It's truly amazing. And with that, I'd like to say, Happy Halloween. Go Giants. Namaste. And so it is.
have a particular fondness for first service. I have a real fondness for first service. I want to tell you, it's actually when I'm giving first service, I feel like I'm at church. And I've noticed that we have a dialogue that seems to take place in this service that doesn't happen in the later service. You guys do know that the first service and second service have two distinct cultures. Some of you know that, some of you don't. If you come to second service, you might wonder where you are. And when second service people come to first service, they too wonder where they are. And it's beautiful to be able to expose both families. But I have developed inside of me a softness about this particular time. I notice that in this room right now is when I get to speak to you most candidly and authentically and presently. And I'm grateful for that. Today, our topic is Start to Accept Life. And I was reading in our book of the year, which is Ernest Holmes' A New Design for Living, that the teaching that jumped out at me was a simple sentence for this week. And it's the one that I'm going to be using in pretty much everything I'm doing, everything I'm up to, whether it's making my lunches for the week or riding past on my bicycle past the Children's Discovery Museum or seeing those new banners in downtown San Jose that says, I live here, I learn here, I love here. Whether I'm in counseling with people who are having temporary emergencies, or I'm in high-powered financial meetings with the stewardship core team. Here's the sentence. We will never find the time. We must make the time. You ever wondered when things are going to slow down enough for you to do the things that you want to do? No? A couple of you. I'll talk to you offline. I'm going to change my sermon right now. I know someone. Yeah, do you know anybody who's like that? You know, it was particularly challenging for me the first few years in New Thought. Usually about the second week of January, because I found myself struggling with my affirmations or my resolutions. You know, I made resolutions, which seemed like a really good idea on the evening of the 31st of December. And on the 1st of January, I still had the enthusiasm of the previous 24 hours. But by the end of that week, it sort of had fizzled away, and I wasn't quite as empowered or as excited about my intentions as I had been. And then I went to a workshop, and the workshop was with a company called SkillPath. Now, SkillPath does workshops for mostly for the business world. They do. And mostly the people who are in those workshops are people who have been required by their work to go there as part of their employee mediation. You know, like they got in trouble or they were in detention. And so I noticed that whenever I took a class with SkillPath, that many of the people who were there were not exactly chirpy and happy and peppy and full of vim and vigor. Like they were definitely not people like Ken Rowell. This particular course that I took was about effective time management. Now, I thought that I was pretty good at it, but it turns out that I wasn't. Because what was happening in a place like this was I was coming to life, coming to awareness of all kinds of great possibilities. Like, I could impact my world. Like, I could volunteer at the local Catholic church and feed some of the homeless people, or I could work with the city of San Jose to find other alternatives for homeless. Or I could tutor kids, or I could read to the elderly, or I could go to the gym, or I could actually eat more health consciously, or I could sleep a little bit more. You know, all these great ideas. Any of you have great ideas? Yeah. And then to try to apply them into my world is where I had difficulty. And then I learned the most amazing thing I had ever learned. And I learned this after probably 15 years of ministry. after having gone through mastery programs and even after having received a doctorate. This is when I got the real learning. I learned about something called a calendar. I'm serious. No, I've seen them before. I know that they got me to work on, they got me to work, or I made it to the dentist or to see my therapist. But I didn't realize that the calendar became a handy little tool to help me with my intentions and my affirmations. Because in this workshop, I learned from the teacher that if it's not in the calendar, it's just a good idea. If it's not in the calendar, it never happened. And it's probably not going to happen. So I started putting all kinds of things in the calendar every day. Like, I weigh myself every day, and I write it down in my calendar. It just keeps me aware and awake of the trends. I put in my calendar every day that I'm going to go to the gym. And then I go. And I go because it's in my calendar. And I go because it's in my calendar, and I know I don't even want to go. And the little alarm comes up and says, gym time, and I think, nah, tomorrow, I don't have time, I'm too busy. I got to handle email or text, or I got to chop some more vegetables, or go visit someone in a hospital, hospice, or nursing home. But there's this little message. So I go. And I don't actually think I've ever left the gym and went, oh, I'm so sorry that I did that. Never. And there's even time, now during it, I'm like, because now I'm doing this thing called CrossFit, which is insane. It's crazy. And I noticed most of the people in there are perilously close to, they're teetering toward or just past 50. Most of us are in 50. We got a little middle-age stuff going on, little middle body stuff going on here, and losing some of the elasticity in the skin, and our memory is failing such that we're all wearing name tags. Kind of like to do. You guys think I'm wearing this for you? I'm actually doing this so I can remember who I am. But CrossFit, David, get back on track. I have no idea what I was saying. CrossFit. So I'm, nope, gone. Yeah, calendar. Oh, during. Some of these times, like last week, I was climbing these ropes, and I got to the top. I got to the top of this. I was at the top of a knotted rope. Well, these women had gone up and down and up and down and up and down, and I had the knotted rope. I had the knots, like I just had to jump my feet and jump my feet, and these women had wrapped and they had just gone up, and I looked at them and I thought all kinds of ungodly things. But I was at the top, and I was trembling. My muscles were trembling, and this was like my 5th or 6th time up. My forearms had given up, and I was holding on, and it occurred to me, I could fall. And then I looked down at the trainer and I thought, I hate you. Seriously, but it wasn't like it wasn't the cute little fashionable, I hate you. It was like, I hate you. Because I'm scared and I'm never coming back, I'm never coming, that was my point. I'm never coming back. I'm not going to do this again. And then I get home and then my muscles, the pain fades, and then 2 days later, the CrossFit, and then I go because it's in my calendar. People say, well, how is it that you can go around the world and travel so much? I do it because it goes in my calendar. I don't just talk about it. It goes in my calendar. Like, if somebody says, let's go on a around the world cruise, I might go, okay, when are we going to do that? I don't know. I don't have the wherewithal to plan all that right now. So I might have put it in my calendar in 3 years, because 3 years is just far enough that, I can dream about it, but not so far that it'll never happen. I actually put these things in my calendar. So back to our book of the year, we will never find the time. We must make the time. And when I actually make the time, I'm able to do it all anyway. I still get my meditation in. I'm still able to do lots of work and counseling, and I still go on my bike rides, and I go to the movies. I never find the time. I make the time. Doris Hoffman is the director or the coordinator of education here. Reverend Doris Hoffman. Reverend Dr. Doris Hoffman. She's got a PhD in English. Don't mess with Doris when it comes to English. We were in a class on Tuesday night, and we were reading some old texts, and in there was a word, penurious, engaging in penurious, and we all like, I don't even know what it is. And people pulled out their phones, and Doris tells us what it is. Like, she just knows what penurious means. Anyway, Doris said to me this week at a meeting I had at Pete's, "See, I haven't had time to go to meetings at Pete's Coffee. That's my auxiliary office." Most people spend their lives on construction with delayed occupancy. Doris was telling me this. It's a quote from Neville Goddard. Most people spend their lives on construction with delayed occupancy. I know a lot of people whose profession they've taken on self-help. They've taken it on. But they're still constructing their life. They're not actually living their life. They're still constructing it. People might say, well, what's the distinction? How do I know when I'm not just constructing but actually living in it? Well, you don't ask the question, you know. Then it's more like you're in a remodel. You're inside and doing a little bit of rearranging and remodeling, which is pretty much what I'm doing constantly. I saw a video this week that was more than inspiring to me. The power that one person has to make an impact is stunning. One person. Yeah. When you think about the state of the world as you see it, however that is, you may wonder sometimes, how can I make an impact? I've actually been impacted by supermarket checkers. I've had moments of holiness in the presence of a Safeway supermarket checker. When he or she actually looks into my eyes, and I look into theirs, and then just for like this flash, I feel what Deepak Chopra calls the gap. You know, the gap is that space in between thoughts, or that space in between synapses, or in between neurons, or in between atoms. It's that space in between words, that space in between thinking and not thinking. It's just a flash sometimes, and it's in that gap that the thing itself is most fully present, because it hasn't been defined as something else. It's just everything is possible. And I have those moments with baristas and checkers and postal carriers, musicians, friends. One person can make a difference. But one person can make a huge difference in ways that are more just the one-on-one contact. And I saw it in this video this week. It's about a man called the Forest Man of India. The Forest Man of India. And his name is Jadav, J-A-D-A-V, Jadav. And Jadav started in the 1970s doing something that he's been doing every day for more than 34 years. And because of his actions, he has actually created a 500-hectare forest. A forest that is actually larger than Central Park. And if you've never been to New York, look it up later on a map to see the size of Central Park, and you'll see that it's actually, Central Park is larger than most average-sized American cities, excluding places like San Jose, Los Angeles, Chicago, Seattle, and such. But he's created a forest all by himself because he plants 1 or 2 saplings every day, and he's done this for more than 34 years. Now, it's not like he's independently wealthy and he's able just to wander the countryside planting trees. He owns he and his family and the neighborhood, they own about 40 cows that they milk by hand and create dairy products, cheeses and butter and such to sell. And after he does that work, his family helps him by making his supper, which he throws in a burlap sack over his shoulder. And then he gets onto a boat to cross a river, which is one of the largest rivers in India, in the middle of which is the world's largest river island. Now in 2007, this island was massive. But in recent years, more and more erosion has caused the island to diminish. The island is, by the way, is home to a population of about 115,000 people, which is the size of Santa Rosa. But erosion has made the island get smaller and smaller and smaller, such that the predictions are in 15 or 20 years, just in 15 or 20 years, the island will be gone. But the actions of this one man is altering that. But it started because he noticed after a particularly strong monsoon season that there were a lot of snakes washed up onto the shore, snakes that had been uncovered by water and topsoil washing away, and they were dying in the sun. He also noticed that more and more of the wildlife was disappearing from the island because there was less land mass for them. And he decided that he was just going to make a difference. And he made a commitment. I don't know if he has a calendar, but I bet if he did, he put it in there, because every day his family makes his meal, and he gets on a boat, and he goes onto the island, and then he takes a littler boat up to little streams and farther into the island, and he carries with him always 2 saplings. And these saplings don't even have roots yet. They're mostly branches. And he takes a stick, and he hammers into the dry, hard earth a shaft into which he places the stick, the little sapling. And then he puts over it a bamboo-like scaffolding. And on top of that, he puts an handmade earthenware pot with tiny little holes that's filled with water, by the way, because there's no way he can irrigate this. So he goes to the river, and he fills this earthen pot up with water, and he carries it over to the sapling, and he puts it on top of this bamboo scaffolding over this sapling, where for the next week that water just drip, 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 until the seeds, the roots grow enough such that it becomes self-sufficient. And he's got these pots all over the place. And what has emerged since then is a 500-hectare forest. What was at one time, imagine Burning Man without the sex, the drugs, the good time, and the people, just the land. Okay, can you imagine that? It's just soil and dust. But imagine from that you suddenly see 500 hectares of trees and grass, and the animals that have actually returned are wild elephants, tigers, rhino, and deer. Now, the elephants, the people who live on the island were upset because the elephants came back to the island, and then they started going into the gardens and the farmland of the locals, and they threatened to tear down the forest because of how it was impacting them badly. So he altered that by planting more into the center lots and 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 lots of banana trees, which the elephants love. And now the elephants stay in the middle. And then the tigers that were eating all the chickens and the fowl of the farmers, now that the deer are living there, the tigers now have something to eat. It's created this whole ecosystem. Anyway, don't underestimate the power of one person. He planted a forest. But that's not metaphor. He planted a forest. So, your core council here at the center has taken on planting a forest. In 2015, we are determined that the youth and family ministries become a dominant ministry here at the center. Okay. What you may not know is that Reverend Tony Cormier, who has been our youth director for the last 10 months, she wants her term to expire on the 31st of December, and she doesn't want to renew because she's called to do other things. And for those of you who are parents, you might remember 2 directors ago we had Jennifer Bick. Well, Jennifer Bick was able to be wooed back. So Jennifer Bick is coming back, and she's coming back on staff, but she had a few, some business might say stipulations. I know Jen. They're demands. That's one of the things I love about working with Jen. Jen says it just like it is, and she says straight up what it is. Jen says, I will take this on if I'm not just going to help perpetuate what's not working. She said, I'll take it on if you invest in the vision. I said, all right, what is that? She said, what we need regular teachers in all the rooms that are paid, even if a stipend, but they're paid, so that we don't have a constant rotation of volunteers who are, they themselves, mostly scared of kids, and then having to teach science of mind to people they're scared of is a daunting task. So she said, what we really would like is to have regular teachers that the kids who are used to can establish relationships and make friends with and make connections with, and then you use your volunteers to be in support of those teachers so they can actually be useful and be selfless servants and not be terrified of being crucified by little people. So Jen said, if the core council will fund regular teachers in those classes, and so she gave us a whole formula on how we're going to do it. And so the core council, in one of the most beautiful votes I've ever seen, in which everybody went, yes, 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 yes. Long story short, here's what it means. What it means is that we are going to increase the budget of Youth and Family Ministries 50%. Wow. That's a big jump. So we're building a forest, and it'll be handled with ease and with grace, and I'm very excited about what that means. It's going to be good to have families served in a way they've been hungering to be served for a long time, and I'm looking forward to that. Jen also insists that the children have a presence in this room more often, so we're going to see, and Michelle also is very excited about that. So. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because what I want to tell you, what we're up to now is we are about to present our annual altar call. And this is a tradition here at the Center for Spiritual Living. Jennifer, I know you're here for the first time, so welcome. I'm grateful that you are here. I'm asking if you and anyone else who's here for the first time, if you'll just bear witness to what's about to happen without feeling compelled to participate because you're too fresh and new to be drinking the grape juice. Come back in about 5 weeks and we'll give you some of that. But what we do every year at this Sunday, which is the last Sunday in October, we have the altar call. And the altar call is the opportunity for people who want to make a public declaration by just coming up and giving me their pledge card, that they can do that. The first time we did the pledge cards here at the center was about 14 years ago. And people were mailing them in or dropping them in the basket. And there were a handful of folks who said, this means more to me than just giving money. I want to stand up and make a stand to say, here, David, I'm giving you my support. And so the altar call emerged. And so that's what's about to happen. It's very simple. If you are inclined and called to fill out a pledge card, which is in your bulletin, or it's also under the seat in front of you, it's very simple and easy. We ask that you fill that out. Now, this is not a bill. This is simply your best estimate of what it is that you think you will be able to give the center that helps the core council to develop its budget for the next year. This is not to be driven by guilt either. If you feel called not to turn in a pledge card, I totally respect and honor that. And I ask that you bear witness to what's about to happen as you would being a guest at a wedding or at a baptism. That your job is to be a witness to someone who's making a statement for the next step in their life. There's a few other things that I wanted to add this year, and one of them is in your little packet that you received from the ushers is a little piece of cardstock, colored cardstock, the backside of which is blank. The core council and Liz Fedina, who's the chair, are specifically asking that this year, would you be willing to write an affirmation of the good that will come from your donation? Write an affirmation of the good that you want to see come from the donation. And then we'll come up and you'll give me those. These cardstocks will go into this jar. And this jar of affirmations is going to live on the altar of our chapel for all of next year. Okay. Now, when your pledge cards come in, whether your pledge card is for $1 million or for $1, I'm grateful. Very grateful. Your name will go onto a leaf, and the leaf will go on to that tree. And typically that tree becomes very lush and full, and it remains that way for the year. Also, we're having a celebration thank you concert on Saturday, November 8th. And it's a trio of folks coming from Southern California. One of the trio is Nadine Risha. And yeah, Nadine Risha, she's the one who sings that really ethereal song in many different languages from many different faith traditions. And she is off the hook, amazingly, an amazing entertainer. This concert is for anyone who turns in a pledge card, regardless of the amount of the pledge, from 1 penny to $1 million. And no one gets into this concert who didn't turn in a pledge card, so you can't buy a ticket for it. Okay. Megan, help me out.
If you've already turned in a pledge card, and many of you have, and you want to participate in the ritual of this, if you'll just put a great big check on your pledge card when you put it in the envelope.
Yes.
Stop redundancy.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for helping me to remember that. If you want to bring up a pledge card and you've already turned one in, please feel free to do that. But do write duplicate on there, or we will double your pledge, for which we're very grateful. But if you'd rather us not double it, just do that. And I'm looking to see if I've missed anything. No, I have not. What I understand is that Michelle Jordan and the singers are going to help us out right now.
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Come on, help us out. Help us out. Yes, give it to me. Thank you. Thank you. That goes in there. Thank you. Paul, would you be willing to turn off? Thank you. Be willing to turn off my microphone because people. Thank you.
Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit.
Thanks, buddy. Nicely done today. Nicely. I adore you too. Nicely done today.
Take over this joy
Thank you, dude.
and say, sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place, take over this sweet,
Waited for a reason. Yeah, me too. So did I.
sweet Spirit, oh, take it over, take it over, oh, sweet Spirit, oh, take it over this place, mighty Spirit, mighty Spirit, oh, take it over this place, take over my mind,
Thank you, Paul.
mighty Spirit, oh, take
I write by your place every day now. It makes me so happy.
give myself away, give myself away, so
Thank you for getting lunch for people today. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
give myself away.
Oh, dude, thank you.
I give
Morning, how are you?
myself away.
Good to see you. Thank you for
So
that.
you can use me. I give myself away.
I love you, man. I love my city. Dude,
I give myself away. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, give myself away.
hey, good to see you again. Thank you.
Yes, I give myself away.
How are you today?
So you can use
Nice to see Good. How are you? How's class?
sweet Spirit. Oh, help us say, Spirit. Oh, take over this place. Take over, mighty Spirit.
Thank you again. You look great today.
Take over this place. Holy Spirit.
Thank you for these very much. Very grateful for what this represents for you and for the center and the world that we're creating, a world that works for everyone. I'm also grateful that that Margaret Owens, who's here from Southern California, that unbeknownst to her, that God guided her to wear the giant colors today. She thought she was just dressing for the season, but no, she did it because you're in Giants territory here. God bless you. Go Giants. That's the only thing you can say. The ushers are going to come forward and help us with the sharing of our gifts and tithes and offerings. And while they're coming forward, I wanted to let you know, do you know that $2.5 billion will be spent this year in the United States alone on the one seemingly recession-proof commodity in the United States? Candy. Yes, $2.5 billion is expected to be spent this week on candy. And I'm very excited what that means for us, that there is something that is recession-proof. And would like you to join me with the intention that our gifts today are absolutely recession-proof, that like Ken Rowell and his story about Reno and the miraculous recovery that he and his partners have made, that our investment can make a difference in the world. That we're not just about perpetuating whatever's going on, but we're actually creating a world that works for everyone. Would you please say with me our giving affirmation? I deserve to be happy, prosperous, and well. Everyone deserves to be happy, prosperous, and well. I attract opulence because I am attuned to the abundant nature of the living universe. What is it? What's Will?
I paused in the light of morning, let you shine on me a while. I could feel your power upon me and the sweet warmth of your rays, they made me smile. And all the blades of the grass stood shimmering as if they understood to be effortlessly bathed in your blessings is very, very good. So it is and so it shall be. We don't have to justify any more than the lilies of the field or the bird in flight has to bloom or has to fly. They do it 'cause they're called. They do it 'cause it's what they've come here to be. And the moment you serve your own heart is the moment you are free. Strange that we toil and labor in guilt and blame and compromise, driven by the voice of doubt which drowns out what the inner truth belies. If we could just breathe and feel and listen to the lover's constant beat. God's the host of this great banquet and has invited us to eat. And so it is, and so it shall be. We don't have to justify any more than the lilies of the field or the bird in flight has to bloom or has to fly. They do it 'cause they're called. They do it 'cause it's what they've come here to be. And the moment you serve your own heart is the moment you are free. There is enough, and there is time. There is no need, only endless supply of the good that surrounds us. And it's so freeing to know that we're loved and here to navigate the river of well-being. And so it is, and so it shall be. We don't have to justify any more than the lilies of the field or the bird in flight has to bloom or has to fly. We do it 'cause there's more. We do it 'cause it's what they've come here to be. And the moment you serve your own heart is the moment you are free.
Hey, Paul, we're going to use the handheld since I'll be passing that around for a moment. We have a handful of announcements. This will be brief and swift and powerful. I'd like to start with Maureen first. Reverend Maureen.
Reverend Maureen. I convene a group a couple times a month on Sundays called Let's Talk About. And today in your bulletin it says that Will Pye will be our guest. He will be our guest next Sunday. So Let's Talk About is a group, a circle meets over there for adult children who have aging people in their lives. And you may be an adult who is aging, and you're very welcome to come. Our talk today is about compassion and presence. Thank you.
What time?
2 to 4.
Where?
Right over there in the sanctuary.
Hi there, I'm Liz Fedina. I'm a member of the Core Council. If you have ever considered becoming a member of the Center, if you're curious what membership is all about, or if you are ready to take your commitment to your spiritual practice and to this community to the next level, then I invite you to attend our new member orientation on Sunday, November 9th at 1 o'clock. It's a 2-hour class with Dr. David. It's fun, it's informative, and it's the only prerequisite for membership. If you have any questions or would like to register, please see me out in Fellowship Hall after service, and you can also register online. There is a link on our homepage. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have just a couple of things before I pass it to Debbie. If you'd like to support the center also, if you shop at Amazon, you can go to Amazon Smile and you can actually choose CSLSJ. That stands for Center for Spiritual Living San Jose, CSLSJ. If you choose CSLSJ, a portion of every purchase that you make comes back to us, a lot like Scrip. Debbie's going to talk about our community altar as we close. There's an usher team potluck and planning training today at 12:30. There is a Conversations with God book study tonight at 7 o'clock. I don't know if you know it, but we have a weekly 12-step Alcoholics Anonymous recovery meeting here at the center, and it's in Fellowship Hall, and there are typically 80 to 100 people in this particular meeting. If that serves you, that's great too, but if you know of anybody who's in need of recovery, send them our way. This is a great environment in which they can be transformed. There is a creative brilliance class. That's the folks who do these paintings. If you'd like to participate in that, starting this coming Friday, October 31st. And as Ken Rowell said, there's a Better Business Breakfast on Tuesday, November 11, which is a free, amazing event. We're going to close with Debbie for next week.
Next week we're going to be, this week we're going to start creating over here on the side. We're going to have a Day of the Dead altar. We're going to celebrate the Spanish.
Dia de los Muertos.
Thank you so much. Dias de los Muertos. And we're going to have a memory celebration of our ancestors. We're going to the people we love that have gone on, and it's just to celebrate with joy and love, and it'll be an altar. Bring a photograph, a memento, anything that you want, and place it on the altar just for that Sunday, but we'll have it over here, so during the week or whatever. And remember to take it with you when you go.
So they can bring these things when, next Sunday?
Next Sunday or during the week or whatever, but the altar will be in place all day Sunday.
The altar will be in place all day Sunday. If you want to bring something in before service and take it out after the service, that would be great. If you want to bring it in before service, they can leave it here up to 1 week's time, and then we will collect them and keep them in the office for you. I'll be bringing pictures of my dad and of my sister. I'd like it if you'd bring something from your family too.
No, that's...
Would you all please stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left? Billy Liberatore, it's so good to have you back on site. Dwayne, thank you for helping us out. Billy, thank you for helping us out. Margaret Owens has CDs and other gear available, including spider headwear in Fellowship Hall, if you'd like to find out how to do that for yourself. As is our custom, won't you please repeat after me? I am at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. And so it is.